So, hi everyone, my name is Luiza and today I'm going to present my work that is the influence of faults and fracture corridors on the karst system developed in a pressure carbonate reservoir Santos Basin, Brazil. So today I'm going to present a brief introduction and the objective of my work, methods, results, and conclusion. So, the carbonate reservoirs have the development of the macroporous activity often related to post-depositional events such as fracture and karstification process. And the post-depositional event may directly affect fluid flow in the reservoir production by increasing rock porosity and permeability. In this sense, several studies have been conducted to characterize the karst-related macroporosity in the pre-salt reservoir, once its features lead to an increase in production rates. However, the association between the structural elements and solution and the karst development is unclear. So the main objective of this work is to characterize the development of the macroporosity and its relationship with major faults and seismic-scale fractures to contribute to the reservoir reconstruction and to predicting fluid flow in this complex rock. So the studied area is located in the east of Brazil in the pre-salt polygon. And the focus of this study is the Barra Velha formation that is bounded in its base by the Pré-Lagoa conformity and in its top by the South Basin from Ariri formation. And the Barra Velha formation is also divided in upper and lower by the Intralagoas conformity. So, as methodology, 20 wells were used for the analysis of the basic logs and spatial logs. The acoustic image log were used to obtain the bedding planes, fractures and vug fractures rotation, and combining the acoustic image log with the porosity segmentation, it was possible to make a karst classification and then get a karst model. The seismic data were used to obtain the bounded horizons of the Itapema and Barra Velha formation and also the Intralagoas conformity. And from the seismic data, it was also possible to obtain the structural domains and the fault sets characterization. So here we have the first result. Here we have the Itapema formation top horizon, the Intralagoas conformity called in this work as lower Barra Velha formation top horizon and the upper Barra Velha formation top horizon. And you can observe that the paleotopography of the studied area is strongly controlled by these northeast-southwest normal faults. And these faults were responsible for generating a series of horsey and graben systems in the studied area. In general, the structural elements is formed by three fault sets called as F1, F2, and F3. The F1 fault set is major normal faults in the position to the rift seismic unity, and in many cases these fault sets were reactivated and displaced the entire Barra Velha formation, as you can see here. And the F2 fault set is minor faults also in the position to the rift seismic unity, and in some regions this fault set, like here close to the wells 12 and 11, this fault set intersected the base of the lower Barra Velha formation. And the F3 fault sets are minor faults post the position to the Barra Velha formation, and this fault set occurs mostly related to the structural height. So, based on the paleotopography of the studied area, it was possible to classify different domains. We have here in pink the high 1 domain, which corresponds to the highest area of the studied area. The intermediate domain here in yellow, which occurs bordering the high 1 domain. The high 2 domain here in beige, and the low domain here in blue, and the secondary low domain here in green. Then were selected 14 wells located in these different domains for the analysis of the no-matrix features. So based on those 14 wells, it was possible to classify the mainly no-matrix features present in the studied area according to its geometry, size, and also dissolution intensity. It was also divided in stratigraphically concordant and stratigraphically discordant no-matrix features. So the stratigraphically concordant no-matrix features are formed by the matrix porosity with small vugs, the valvular stratabound type 1, type 2, and type 3. So the small vugs is the less karstified feature formed by isolate vugs. The valvular type 1 is formed by an elongated pores and occurs mainly related with the small vugs and the higher contents of silica. And the type 2, valvular stratabound type 2, presents the higher density of pores with different sizes, varying between 3 to 6 centimeters of diameter. And the valvular type 3 are similar with the type 2, but the vugs are interconnected by higher solution. And the stratigraphically discordant no-matrix features are formed by the enlarged fracture, mega and gigapores, and also the conduit. So the enlarged fracture are linear structures with a sigmoidal shaped with apertures of 3 to 5 centimeters. And the mega and gigapore are zones with rounded structures with diameters of up to 45 centimeters, and the conduits are linear structures also with a sigmoidal shape, increased by dissolution and present apertures of up to 50 centimeters. So, based on this classification, it was possible to manually zone the wells. Here we can observe the distribution of the no-matrix features along the wells and also compare the upper and lower Barra Velha formation. The lower Barra Velha formation occurs with higher presence of the stratigraphically discordant no-matrix features such as the fractures and conduits, especially in wells located in high 2 and intermediate domain, while in the upper Barra Velha formation it occurs with higher presence of the stratigraphically concordant no-matrix features such as the small vugs in gray and the vugs valvular type 1, 2, 3, especially in the wells located here in the secondary low domain and also in the high 1 domain. In addition, it was also possible to observe that the wells located in the south and central region of the studied area occurs with a higher presence of no-matrix features. So to better understand the relationship with the structural elements and the solution karstification process, the bedding planes and vug fractures and conduits orientation were also analyzed. So here we have the bedding plane as example, the vug fractures, conduit, and fracture. So here we have the result of with the deep azimuth of the bedding planes, the vug fractures and conduits and fractures in the upper Barra Velha formation top horizon and the lower Barra Velha formation top horizon, and comparing the upper and lower Barra Velha formation, it was not possible to observe significant differences between them, but it was possible to observe trends of wells. So as example here we have in the eastern margin of the structural high 1 domain. Here we have the locations, the bedding planes, the fracture plane, and the vug fractures and conduits lineation here represented by this pinky arrow. And here in the eastern margin, the well's bedding planes are mainly deep into east and southeast, and the vug's lineation seems to follow the same orientation of the bedding planes. While in the western margin, the bedding plane dip is to west and southwest, but the vug's lineation to northwest and probably related to the northeast-southwest oriented major faults and fractures. In the central portion of the studied area, the bedding plane dip continues to west and southwest, but the vug's lineation dip is to northeast, north, and southwest, and probably related to the northwest, southeast, and west-east oriented fractures. And finally, here in this area in the north, in the wells 18 and 17, the vug's lineation follow the same orientation of the bedding planes, while here in the south, the vug's lineation have considerable influence of northeast to southwest oriented fractures and major faults. So here you have the final result. You have the karst model 1. We are working with multiple scenarios, and this is the first karst model that we developed. And so based on the well strengths, and we could add more 3 subdomains for the studied area. We have here in the eastern margin of the structure high 1, the scarp slope subdomain here in purple, representing here. Then we have the deep slope subdomain in the western margin of the structural high 1, here in orange, located in here and in here. And you also have the wedged subdomain here in green, which are located in these regions with this wedged format. And we continue with the high 2 domain, a secondary low domain, and the intermediate domain over here. So the high 1 domain encompasses only the upper Barra Velha formation unity, and the wells located in this domain are mainly formed by stratigraphically concordant geometric. The high 2 domain is characterized by an intense presence of faults and comprises both upper and lower Barra Velha formation, and also the wells located in this domain present in the image log interpretation graphically concordant geometric features mainly in the upper Barra Velha formation, while in the lower Barra Velha formation the occurrence of intense geometric features is frequent, such as fractures and contours, and probably related to the northeast, southwest faults and fractures. The scarp slope and deep slope subdomain are similar, with the exception of the formation layer deep, that we have the scarp slope subdomain, the formations layer deep is higher than in the deep slope subdomain. And in the image log interpretation, the upper Barra Velha formation is formed by stratigraphically concordant geometric features, while in the lower Barra Velha formation it's common the stratigraphically discordant geometric features such as conduits, fractures, and megapores. And in the wedged subdomain is formed by a thicker layer of the rift side here, and the wells located closer to the deep slope subdomain, as here the well 10, has low influences of faults, and it's formed mainly by stratigraphically concordant geometric features in the entire Barra Velha formation, while the wells located closer to the high 2 subdomain, as example, the well 11 is located close to the well 12. In the lower Barra Velha formation occurs with stratigraphically discordant geometric features. And in general, in the subdomain, the influence of northwest, southeast features in the karst-related macroprosed formation is common. So, as conclusions, we have that the well structural pattern demonstrated that the studied area is formed by an irregular topography with northeast, northwest, southeast, and west-east structures, which conditioned not only the sedimentary deposition but also the dissolution in the reservoir. The lower Barra Velha formation occurs with more stratigraphically discordant geometric features such as fractures and fluids. The upper Barra Velha formation, pointing to a higher influence of fractures in this interval, especially in the wells close to the fault sets F1 and F2 in the high 2 domain and in the deep slope and scarp slope subdomains. And the northeast, southwest, northwest, southeast factors characterized mainly in the lower Barra Velha formation seem to strongly control the development of macroporosity and occur more frequently in the central and south region of the studied area. So thank you so much. That's it. Thank you so much. Bye.